Our next guest has been the reigning queen of techies since they were called geeks. She hosts the Sword and Laser podcast and was previously host of the Doctor Who 50th anniversary pre- and post-show, and co-host of Gizmodo, the Gadget Testers on BBC America. She also hosts something called Vaginal Fantasy, which I would be interested in based on the name alone. I'm a dirty old man in a young man's body. Youngish man's body. Please welcome the ever-charming Veronica Belmont.
Without frontiers, war without fears. If looks could kill, they probably will. In games without frontiers, war without tears.
All right.
I'm not sure what that was a reference to, but I dug it.
I think it was games.
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 Thank you.
So, most recently, I heard about you had an episode with Comcast.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And so, what do you think should happen to the Comcast retention people when the revolution comes? And what should Anonymous do with their information?
I actually really feel for the people who work for Comcast. I think they're the ones who are probably getting fucked in that situation more than I was in that particular case. I don't know if you guys heard. It wasn't actually me, it was my husband. He had like a 10-minute long call with Comcast where it went crazy town. It has over like 6 million listens at this point, yeah. And the guy was nuts. He was really trying to keep us on Comcast. And I had been on the phone 10 minutes earlier, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I passed the phone over. I'm like, I can't deal. And I feel bad for the guy because that's his job, and he was going to get in trouble if he didn't keep a customer, and so that kind of sucked for him.
So Anonymous should not release his information.
No, why is Anonymous not going after this new hacker group? That's like...
Maybe
I don't really feel that bad for Sony, but at the same time, like, those people have families. Like, if we have internet vigilantes, why aren't they doing something? Like, I want my internet vigilantes to work for me.
Are they for hire?
They're not.
Shit.
Do we have, like, a bat signal? That's what I need, like.
Just like a big V for Vendetta mask up in the sky.
That'd be awesome.
So how does somebody who is an American get to host the Doctor Who thing on BBC America? Besides the American
You just
name.
said it.
All right.
BBC America.
I fucked myself on that one. And what the hell is a Whovian? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
What is it?
Any Doctor Who fans in the audience? There's a couple. All right, that like one lady over there. The Who phenomenon is amazing. I mean, it's been on for 60 years, and there's so many incredible, passionate fans out there. Whether you're a new Who fan or a classic Who fan, it kind of runs the gamut, and people are really excited about it. And we have a new season, new Doctor Who, or Doctor rather, Peter Capaldi. He's amazing.
How many Doctor Who's have there been now?
13.
How does that stack up to Bonds? How many Bonds versus?
I don't know. How many Bonds are there?
No Bond fans.
5?
No way.
Really?
More than 5 Bonds.
I feel like there was more.
I think Doctor Who and James Bond should fight.
Gabby and I went to the same college. We were friends in college. You didn't know that. Emerson! That's like one person.
Did you guys cook together in college?
Huh?
Did you guys cook and play video games together in college?
No, but we should have. That would have been awesome.
So tell me about your book club, Vaginal Fantasy.
I do 2 book clubs.
2 fucking book clubs.
So
and video games and podcasting?
Yeah.
You're the biggest nerd ever.
So I've been podcasting for about 10 years. I used to do podcasts for CNET, which is a tech site. And then I moved to do them independently. And I wanted to do something I was really excited about, which was books. And so I started a show called The Sword and Laser with my co-host Tom. And we've been doing that show for 8 years. And it's a sci-fi fantasy book club, podcast, show. We published a short story anthology. And it's been really amazing. And now we're on Patreon, so our fans get to chip in and help us pay for all our overhead costs, which is nice because it was kind of like a labor of love for so long, and now we get to do stuff for our fans. And that's really, exciting for us and for the fans too. And Vaginal Fantasy is a show that I do with my friend Felicia Day and Kyla Caseby and Bonnie Burton. And it's a romance book club, a paranormal sci-fi fantasy romance book club. We also read some erotica. We read some Cthulhu erotica, which is a thing.
Really?
Yes.
That just sounds weird.
It is a thing. Yeah, we cover everything from werewolves, vampires, sexy dinosaur ghosts, also a thing.
Oh yeah, tell me more. Tell me more.
So imagine, if you will, that your soul was inhabited by that of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And whenever you got worked up sexually, that side of you came out. Not only, sorry, I said came out. I didn't mean that.
Have you been reading my journal?
It physically looks like you are a giant, like, ghost-like Tyrannosaurus Rex having sex with a lady. It gets kind of weird, like animal bestiality stuff. Like, it sounds that way, but it's not that way. That's like the third time I've had to make that distinction this week. That's my life.
Well, my question is this. You're doing a romance novel thing in San Francisco. How can you get Danielle Steele involved?
That's a really good question. Well, she does kind of like, she does basic romance.
No dinosaur
She
romance
doesn't do
for her,
like,
huh?
yeah, if there's no vampires involved, we're not usually interested. Though we're not into the 50 Shades phenomena. That is
Gotcha.
not something we cover on our particular show.
That's not freaky
Nor
deaky enough.
Twilight, yeah.
Gotcha.
We like it real freaky.
Well, how does someone, you seem pretty well adjusted, right? I mean,
Do I?
I mean, maybe not, I don't know. Not after all this vampire talk. How does someone who seems like so well put together become so involved with all the nerdiest things in the world?
It was just who I was as a kid. You know, when I was, both my parents worked for toy companies. My dad was an engineer, and my mom worked for Coleco and Hasbro and all sorts of great companies, Parker Brothers. My grandpa worked there. And so growing up, I just had a lot of like toys and gadgets and computers all around the house all the time. I was taking things apart and putting them back together again. I did like science and computer club at school, and there weren't a lot of girls, but it didn't really feel like a thing at the time. It didn't feel like, oh, there's not that many girls, because I just had more guy friends growing up anyway. And then I got to college, and I went to school for audio-radio production, so I spent like 16 hours a day just in the audio studio producing stuff and editing stuff. And I just, all the time I wasn't doing that, I was playing video games, because that's what me and my friends did. And yeah, and then I moved to San Francisco because I wanted to work in tech, and that's what happened. And I actually got a job at CNET because they needed an audio producer. And I didn't do anything on air or on camera or anything like that, but I was editing all their like web stuff and audio production stuff. And they were like, we need someone to do this podcasting thing. I'm like, I know what that is. And so I just kind of jumped into that role and then started hosting stuff, and that's kind of how I got started.
And now the most important question. Did you bring any spring rolls?
I don't. I was going to make bacon cheeseburgers, though. Can we do that? I stole that joke from Josh, sorry.
I wish you brought cheeseburgers.
That would be amazing. What, the spring roll wasn't enough for you?
I'm a big boy.
You're going to come up here and you're going to say that spring roll wasn't enough for you?
It was delicious,
All right,
but I'm
good.
still hungry. Anyways, thank you so much for being here.
Of course,
I really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for having me.